The story follows Stella, a young and talented milliner, a hat maker from St. Petersburg who has recently moved to Louisville, Kentucky. She is trying to establish her business in the high-stakes world of derby fashion. Stella's big break seems to arrive when her friend Annie, a hotel employee, helps her get her portfolio in front of Rosalind, a prominent figure in Louisville's elite horse racing community. Stella's plan is to get her designs seen by Rosalind so she can be hired to create hats for the Kentucky Derby, a prestigious event where Rosalind is known for her stylish hats and fierce rivalry with another socialite, Mimi Sterling. Initially, Stella's first attempt to get her hat seen by Rosalind is a bit chaotic. She sneaks a hat design onto a breakfast tray meant for Rosalind's room, only to be discovered by Rosalind's son Christian, a horse trainer. He finds her charming, and despite the mix-up, Rosalind is impressed enough by the hat to hire Stella to create her derby hats. This is a huge opportunity for Stella, but it also comes with immense pressure, as winning the Bradbury hat competition at the Derby would solidify her career in Louisville. She's also working under the shadow of Odette, Rosalind's longtime assistant, who is skeptical of Stella and her modern designs, often trying to undermine her. Stella's creative process begins, and she initially proposes a bird theme for the hats, but this idea is quickly scrapped when it's discovered that Mimi Sterling is also using a similar theme. Rosalind challenges Stella to come up with a new concept. Stella, inspired by the Fairchild family's history with the Derby, suggests a theme based on their past race horses and their ties to historical figures like the Queen. This idea is well received, and Christian offers to give Stella a tour of the family's horse farm for inspiration. During her tour of the farm, Stella bonds with Christian and his prize-winning filly Wildflower Wish, whom they affectionately call Willa. Stella discovers that Willa has become skittish due to the arrival of a rival trainer, Davidson, and his aggressive horse Toreador. Stella, using her instincts and knowledge of horses from her upbringing on a farm, offers Christian a simple trick to calm Willa, which proves to be successful. This shared connection over horses strengthens their bond. As Derby week progresses, Stella faces more challenges. Odette continues to subtly sabotage her, and Stella feels the pressure to succeed. Christian, who is also struggling with his own self-doubt about Willa's readiness for the Derby, forms a partnership with Stella. They agree to help each other navigate the social and professional pressures they face. Christian gives Stella advice on Louisville high society and Rosalind's preferences to prevent any more bless your heart incidents. A southern phrase, Christian explains, is a polite way of insulting someone's choices. In return, Stella provides emotional support and encouragement to Christian. Stella's hats begin to gain attention. Rosalind wears one of her striking new hats to a high-profile gala, earning compliments and frustrating her rival Mimi. However, Stella is again humiliated when she is misled about the dress code for a casual farm barbecue, showing up in the wrong attire. Christian finds her embarrassed and again offers his support. He shares his anxieties about Willa and his rivalry with Davidson, while Stella opens up about her dreams and the pressure she's under. They share a moment of vulnerability, realizing they are both dealing with similar fears of not being good enough. The climax of the story builds towards the Derby. Stella continues to work on her hats despite Odette's constant criticism. Rosalind is impressed with Stella's designs, but Odette warns Stella that any negative feedback will ruin her career. Stella, armed with a new sense of purpose and the support of Christian and her friend Annie, remains determined to succeed. The story concludes with Stella presenting her final hat designs, having found her place and her confidence in Louisville. The plot sets up a classic underdog story where Stella must overcome professional rivalries, self-doubt, and social hurdles to achieve her dream and prove her worth as a talented milliner. Following a stressful but ultimately successful period of creation, the narrative progresses towards the grand spectacle of the Kentucky Derby. With the hats completed, Rosalind Fairchild has been wearing Stella's creations to all the pre-Derby events, generating a great deal of buzz. The press and social media are captivated by the bold original designs. Rosalind's rival Mimi Sterling is visibly frustrated, her own bird-themed hats overshadowed by Stella's vibrant Derby history-inspired masterpieces. Stella's talent is finally being recognized, and she feels a growing sense of confidence. Meanwhile, Christian and his horse Willa are also preparing for their big day. The pressure on Christian is immense. He's torn between his mother's advice to pull Willa from the Derby and run her in a less competitive race, and his own belief in his horse's potential. Davidson's continued presence with his aggressive horse Toreador is a constant source of stress for Willa, making her skittish. Stella, recognizing a shared feeling of imposter syndrome, encourages Christian to trust his instincts and believe in Willa, reminding him of his father's advice to be resilient. On the day of the Derby, Stella's hard work culminates in Rosalind's stunning grand finale hat. Rosalind is a vision in her outfit, and everyone, including the judges for the Bradbury hat competition, is impressed. The focus shifts to the race itself. The tension is palpable as Christian and Willa enter the track with Davidson and Toreador close by. Despite the initial nervousness, Willa performs beautifully, her spirit and grace on full display. The race is a thrilling blur of hooves and determination. In a photo finish, Willa pulls ahead, winning the Derby in a stunning upset. The victory is a triumph for both Christian and Stella. Christian's faith in Willa is rewarded, and Stella's artistic talent is validated. The announcers reveal that Rosalind's hat has won the prestigious Bradbury hat competition, cementing Stella's place in the world of millinery. Rosalind and Odette are overjoyed, and even the critical Odette offers a rare though brief compliment. The story ends with Stella and Christian celebrating their victories, their shared journey of self-doubt and perseverance having led them both to success. They stand together looking towards a future filled with potential, their bond now stronger than ever. The narrative picks up as Christian Fairchild, a horse trainer, discusses his prized filly Wildflower Wish, Willa, with his mother Rosalind. He reveals his determination to enter Willa in the prestigious Derby despite the fact that a filly has rarely won the race. He also mentions that Willa is agitated by the presence of his old friend and rival Davidson and his horse Toreador. Rosalind acknowledges their different training styles but supports Christian's commitment to his friend. Meanwhile, Stella, the talented milliner, presents a new hat inspired by Rosalind's past champion horse Capri Breeze. Rosalind initially seems to like the design but ultimately rejects it, suggesting Stella create something more traditional. Odette, Rosalind's assistant, warns Stella against going rogue and emphasizes the need to win the Bradbury hat competition, which she sees as more important than simply receiving compliments. Christian later finds a discouraged Stella and offers her food and a pep talk. He explains the unwritten rules of Louisville high society, comparing it to a box with freedom within its boundaries. He reassures her that she will eventually understand the social cues and encourages her to trust her instincts. Stella shows him some new hat ideas which he praises, and they agree to a deal where he'll offer her more social advice in exchange for her input. Over the next few days their bond deepens. Stella continues to work on her hats, drawing inspiration from Rosalind's past. She learns that Rosalind's passion was once for horses, not fashion, and that she once dreamed of being a jockey. This shared history of dreams and self-doubt strengthens their connection. Rosalind loves the new hat inspired by one the Queen once wore and gives Stella her derby hat commission, fully entrusting her with the project. At the same time, Stella helps Christian with Willa. She realizes the horse is anxious because of a lack of fun and consistent boundaries. Following Stella's advice, Christian gives Willa a play day, allowing her to run freely. This newfound relaxation and consistency in her training greatly improves Willa's mood and performance. The growing friendship between Stella and Christian blossoms into romance. Christian rents out a park and a Ferris wheel for their date, where they share their dreams and fears. The date ends abruptly when Odette appears and Christian seems to pull back, confusing Stella. Unbeknownst to Stella, Christian's mother and Hannah are observing his interest in her. Hannah, feeling overshadowed by Stella's success, misleads Christian into thinking Stella has a romantic interest in Davidson. She also gives Stella a ticket to the infield rather than the Fairchild's private box, subtly trying to sabotage their connection. On the morning of the Derby, Stella's confidence is shaken by a phone call from Odette, who tells her she's running late with a hat delivery. Stella goes to the studio to help. There, an accidental spill by Hannah seemingly ruins Rosalind's derby hat. As a last resort, Stella offers Odette a hat she had made for herself, inspired by Rosalind's childhood love of horses. Odette, who turns out to be the milliner of the hat Stella admired as a child, is touched and gives Stella a final push of encouragement, revealing her initial harshness was a way to challenge her. At the Derby, Rosalind surprises everyone by wearing Stella's last-minute hat, which is a departure from her usual style. She gives a moving speech about giving herself permission to be who she truly is. Her hat wins the Bradbury Award, a victory that belongs to Stella. At the same time, Christian and his family, realizing Hannah's deceit, go to find Stella to invite her to watch the race from their box. Christian apologizes, admitting he was foolishly misled by Hannah's rumors. He and Stella reconcile and she joins them just in time for the race. Willa and Christian perform magnificently. In a thrilling final stretch, Willa pulls ahead and wins the Derby, overcoming her nervousness and proving her worth. The victory is a triumph for everyone: Christian and Willa for their courage, Stella for her talent, and Rosalind for embracing a new part of herself. The story concludes with Stella and Christian celebrating their victories, their future together now as bright as the hats Stella creates. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.